Now you ain't so tough. These other fuckers got guns. Now you don't want to go into the school. It looks dangerous.
Yeah, they're there to dress and
Yeah.
look cool. They're not there to actually do anything.
Nah, they didn't do shit when that shit went down. We saw that.
Yeah.
But then, they catch you on the street. Now they want to talk all hard. Oh, we're the police. We can do whatever we want. We follow these rules. Blah. All of a sudden, shit goes down. Nah, we're not those guys.
Yeah, they talk a big game, but they don't really back it up.
Nah, not really.
Can you tilt that camera more towards this side? To your, yeah, yeah, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, man.
Cool.
So you don't trust the police?
Of course, I don't trust the police.
Is it from personal experience or is it just because you're told to by the lamestream media?
No, from personal experience, man. I've had fucked up situations with the police.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in Panama City Beach and the police just drove onto the sidewalk and just started yelling at kids.
Oh, that's the thing. A lot of police is just like they're just like abusing power. Like the first time I ever got arrested, it was me and my boy Jay. We had we had just finished a basketball game in like a rec league we played in on Wednesday nights. And we had a couple of beers, probably like 5 beers apiece. And so we were kind of buzzing a little bit. And so we tried to go to the strip club, but we were wearing sweatpants. So the police wouldn't let us into the strip club. I mean, not the police, the strip club people,
Bouncers.
the bouncers. Yeah, they wouldn't let us in. The moment we walk out, the police jump on us. Two police officers jump on us, and they're like, "We saw you guys smoking weed in the car. Whose weed was it? And whose car is it?" My friend's like, "It was my weed. It was my car." So the two police sit us down. They're like, "Weed's illegal still." This was in Colorado before weed was legalized, and they sit my friend. One cop sits my friend on the edge of the curb. The other one puts me at the. I'm standing like on the hood of the police car. And they start asking us a bunch of questions. Where are you guys coming from? What are you guys doing? Why didn't you guys get in the strip club? And we're like, oh, we came from a basketball game. He's like, have you guys been drinking? My friend's like, yeah. He's like, how much? Probably had like 4 or 5 beers each. And then he's like, oh, so he's like, you're drinking and driving and smoking weed. And I'm like, and my friend's like, yeah, it was my weed. It was my car. I'm sorry. The police is like, oh. And so then I'm sitting there. My friend's just sitting on the curb. All of a sudden, I'm like, yeah. And then this cop just takes me, puts my hand behind my back, and throws my head down on the hood of the car. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything. And he's like, oh, you think you're so fucking smart? You know the law. You think you're tough? And he's just yelling at me. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, what did I do? I'm like, my friend did the same shit. He's just sitting on the curb like a fucking normal person. Why can't I just fucking sit on the curb like a normal person? He's like, oh, that's not how this works. You think you're so fucking tough? And he just talks shit to me. And then finally, my friend, who admitted it was his car, his weed, and we had been drinking, they're just like, dude, get the fuck out of here. They just let his ass go.
Yeah,
And then they arrested me and took me to jail.
for being a passenger.
Yeah, I never got charged with anything. I just spent the night. They just took me to detox. And the whole time we're going to detox, we're on the way. I'm handcuffed in the back of the cop car, and this cop is just talking shit to me the whole time. He's like, "You get it now? You starting to figure out the picture? You think you're so fucking smart? You think you still know the law?"
Fucking.
And just
What
like,
did he want us to call you?
you know what's fucked up is he was black.
No way.
He was black.
Oh,
Black cops
that's
are the
nice.
worst. They're like the Uncle Ruckus of cops. You know, like they're just like these damn niggers are ruining the community.
Like, this is how the system works. I'm
Yeah.
on the inside, and if I let go, they might do this to me.
Right. I got to get these niggers before they get me. You know, like that's and so
Yeah. Was he calling you the N word?
he didn't call me the N word, but he
Because he
just
was on the clock.
yeah. So then they took me to detox. They tried to get me to pay a bunch of fines and shit. Absolutely refused. I'm like, I'm not paying a goddamn cent. I went to the police station the next day and I filed after I got out of detox. I filed a complaint against the police. Bro, I never got charged with anything. I never had to pay a fine. Nothing was on my record. Nothing. It's
He
like it
just
never
ruined your
happened.
day.
It just fucked up my night. Yeah. Just like that. That was the first time I got arrested. The second time I got arrested was even more fucked up.
Damn.
I was at I was driving from Boston, and I was going to Colorado, and I had to be there by like Thursday or whatever. I was doing some comedy out there, and I want to spend some time with my family, stopping a bunch of places. So I was like, I'll just drive out there. I gave myself like 4 days to get out there. I'm like, that's enough time to drive like 33 hours or whatever it is, 36 hours. I could do that in 4 days pretty easily. So 3 hours into the drive, I'm in upstate New York, Fishkill, New York. Fuck that place, by the way. Till this day, fuck that place. And
Upstate.
upstate New York, and I'm driving on the highway, and traffic is merging because there's construction, so it's one lane, and I see this cop merging on the highway, and I'm praying because it's one lane, so no one can like go any faster. I'm praying that he gets in front of me because if he gets in behind me, for some reason I knew he was gonna pull me over.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, he gets behind me right away. His lights come on. He pulls me to the road. He comes to the window. He's like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "I really don't." He's like, "You were speeding." I was like, "No, I wasn't." He never addresses it. He does not say shit about it. He just goes, "I smell weed in the car." He's like, "I smell weed. Have you been smoking? Do you have weed in here?" And I was like, I knew I didn't have any weed because I just finished smoking it like 4 hours ago. So I was like, I knew because I was like, if I have weed in this car, it's going to be fucking up. So I was like, I
So
smoked.
you,
What's up?
yeah. So you were just like, I don't have weed in the car because you actually did it.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Do you mind if I search the car?" And this is where I fucked up because I got indignant. I was like, "Fine, you can search the car." This motherfucker searches the car. He searches it twice. He finds a pill bottle in my trunk from like years that used to have weed in it. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold on to this. I know there was weed in here at some point."
Is he white?
Yeah, of
I
course.
hate white people.
And then so then this motherfucker starts going through my shit, and he finds 5 Adderall pills I had in a baggie for the drive because I just took them out of my prescription bottle and just put them in the baggie. And he's like, "Oh, where's your prescription?" I'm like, "I don't have it on me." He's like, "Well, that's too bad. Looks like you're going to jail." So he arrests me like that. And then so he puts me in this car. He fucking takes me to the station, and he calls the DA. It's a small town in upstate New York. The DA's like, "I'm not coming down to give him charges for this. We have court like once, like we have court like every 2 days." He's like, he's like, "Just give him a $250 fine and let him go." This cop looks at me. He's like, "Do you have $250?" I was like, "Yeah, I have my card right here." He's like, "In cash?" I was like, "We can go to an ATM." He's like, "No, I don't feel comfortable with you in my car."
Wow, he's a real Karen. He's like, you might rape me. He's like, your raw sexual energy in the back of my car. I don't know what I would do with
It's
you.
too much.
Tied up back
Put that
there.
Mutombo away. And so the DA's like, "Well,
Are you okay?
I'm a
Drink
lightweight
the
with
water.
I'm a lightweight with weed now."
That's horrible, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's one of the things I used to smoke like 5 times a day. Now I smoke maybe like 3 or 4 times a week
Well, why did you say you wanted to smoke weed after the basketball game?
because I love smoking weed after playing ball. It's like it's one of my favorite things, just getting
Do
high
you
after
think it
basketball.
helps with the inflammation and the stresses of your body? It relaxes and is a painkiller as well.
I don't know if it does all that, but it does make me feel good in the moment. So
You don't think it reduces inflammation?
I've never done the research. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's probably why I'm never inflamed. It's probably why I'm always pretty healthy. I give weed the credit. But then this fucking cop, so he's like, he looks at me and he goes, "Well, if you have enough money to be driving across the country, then you have enough money to get a hotel room." So he gives me a court date for the next day at 5 p.m. This is like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So he gives me on Monday. So he gives me a court date on for Tuesday at 5 p.m. So I got to get a hotel room. He's like, "If you don't come to court, you're gonna have a warrant out for your arrest." And I'm like, "Fuck, I just want to get this over with." So I grab a hotel, I hang out the night, hang out in this fucking bootleg ass city in upstate New York, and I go to court at 5 p.m. They get all the people with the lawyers. They go through a bunch of stuff. I don't get in front of the judge till it's probably like 9:30 already. Um,
Wow, they go court goes till 9. I thought it was from 8 to 5 at least.
small cities are fucked up because they don't do court every day. The whole thing was fucked up.
So is it like a industry where they take people from out of town and they make them stay and pay money through their town, you think?
I mean, a lot of cities, like small towns, do make a bunch of money from the police, like local police. Like that's like their
They're
largest source of
like
income.
trolls.
Yeah, essentially. Oh, because one of the other thing that fucked me up was So then he says, "You have a court date." So before I get to court, when I'm still in the jail, he's like, "You have a court date for tomorrow at 5 p.m." He's like, "My car had been towed." He's like, "I'm going to take you back to your car." The same motherfucker that said he didn't feel comfortable with me in his car is now taking me back to his car, taking me back to my car at the tow yard. And the whole time he's just sitting there like, "Oh yeah, I'm really big in the NRA and I go to the NRC every year and I don't like this Obama fella and all this shit." Just
So, what is like his mood? Is he like telling you this because he's like, you got to know, I'm like one of these guys? Or is he like trying to connect with you and he's like trying to be like, please help me, save me?
No, he was like trying to be a hard ass. Like he was trying to like intimidate me. Like he was just trying to be like he was super like harsh too. Like he wasn't like we were just him and me in the car and he was sitting there talking to me all hard, like he was all gruff in his
But
voice
you
and shit.
can't like talk to someone without being like, okay, I want you to listen. I kind of want you to hear this. Are you ready? Because like he has to connect with you in some way to talk to you.
He wasn't trying to connect with me. He was trying to intimidate me for sure.
So he was just saying hurtful things. Just
No, he just wanted me to like know who he was like, "Oh," and then like by the end of the car ride, I was like, "Bro, I'm not playing this game with you." So I just did me, and then we get to the fucking tow ride, the tow place, probably like a half hour away, and he drops me off, and then he starts talking to the tow guy owner. Apparently, it's his boy. They charged me for like an hour and a half my car in lockup. I paid $500. It's like $487 to get my car out of lockup for a half hour from the tow yard. I know that motherfucker got a kickback from that dude for sure. 100%.
that's
And
horrible.
so then I go to court and I'm waiting. So it's 9:30 p.m. So I get up in front of the judge. The judge looks at me, goes, "Do you have any records?" They check my record. They find I don't have anything on my record. They go,
You're one of
"Okay."
the good ones.
He's like, "Yeah, well, you can let this one go." And then they say, "Oh, it's okay. So you have to pay court costs." It was like $220. And then I get it to leave. No ticket, no fine, no nothing. Just, I mean, the fine was the court costs. And then I get to go. And so it just cost me like a day and a half and $1,000 was what it cost me between getting a hotel, paying for court costs, getting my car from the tow. It cost me about a thousand
So why
dollars
did he pull up behind you in the first place?
because my old car looked like a black dude drove it. It had like tinted windows, had like rims on it. It wasn't even a nice car. It was like a Nissan Maxima Altima
So
or whatever.
it
Yeah, like
was a
every black.
culture war.
Bro, and you know what I found out about that drive? Because I got pulled over like 4 or 5 times on that drive across the country. I never got a single ticket for anything.
They're just
But
they're just stop and frisk.
it's essentially a road stop and frisk. What they do is they
It's
stop
like
you.
a fucking Nazi Germany thing where they're like, "Well, your papers."
Well, they're checking for warrants. They're
They're
like,
trying to nab black people moving across the country.
bro, they didn't know what I was
Black
talking about.
people, you better stay where you're at.
They were
Don't
like,
start using our interstate. That's where we get you. That's our
my sister did
chicken
say,
grounds.
my sister said my car looked like a drug dealer car. That's what she said. And she was not right. They treated me like a drug dealer. I found out from one of my cop friends that what they're doing is just stopping you and they're just checking for warrants.
Yeah, it's invasion of our rights. There's a reason why you want to have rights, is so that you don't have to have these uncomfortable interactions with the police. Like that's called freedom. That's like one of the best. That's the one freedom that is the most important, probably.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't have that experience. Like every black person I know has had that experience in multiple ways. But like a lot of white people, they don't believe that's a real thing because it never happens to them. And they know a cop. There's cops in my family, god damn it. They're good
At
people.
this point, I think they just like it. I think that's what they want, and that's what they're getting.
Yeah, and that's what they get. So yeah, it happens to that. So those were the 2 times I got arrested.
Well, I think uh it's like one of the things in life that shouldn't happen. Like you shouldn't just be stopping everyone. That's like one of the things with governments is that's bad is like when they're stopping people. Like if you this is what it's like in peacetime. Like what is it like when there's an actual war?
When shit is fucked up.
When they can take more power.
But that's like stop and frisk in New York. Like they can just stop and frisk. Like that's the whole method behind the policy, except in your car they're just doing it on the street, which I think is wild.
Well, you have to have a car to get anywhere, and if you're in a car, they can pull you over for any reason. So then you can just be pulled over anytime you go anywhere. Every inch of your life is controlled by the police, and they can stop you at any time. Like we already have a horrible draconian system.
See, but that's why now in my Texas car, I drive a Forerunner. That's a good white people car, and I got a Jesus fish on there. and I got a Navy sticker. It was on there when I bought it used, and I just never took it off. And I swear that's one of the reasons I've never been pulled over in Austin.
There's also a working strike
Which
going on.
thank goodness that working strike is it's nice. Like a lot of people are like, oh, the crime. I'm like, I don't notice any more crime than any other place I've ever been to.
Well, just because you don't notice it doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, but crime is, but like, I don't think the crime here is like more drastic than like any other place in like the
Yeah.
country. I don't
Well,
think there's like people in Austin are like walking and living in fear of crime out here. Like crime happens everywhere.
yeah, I think that you are right, and that the crime is like not a significant factor here because people just don't want to do crime. They're like, I'll play by the rules, and we have like a culture of like, oh, if you don't play by the rules, it's not good for you. It's not like a rich culture of people that do crime right now.
And also in Austin, like people love following the rules in Austin. Like you ever notice people love waiting in lines here? Like there'll be a long line of people and people will jump in
Well,
the line. They
that's
don't even know what
because
they're waiting for. They're
I
just
think
like,
people in Austin are hot and they want to fuck each other. And
I hope
there's
so.
like, oh, look, a line. Like this is like some structure that I can get physically close to people and maybe approach them. I think there's like a lot of you know, like social contact that's wanted, but it's hard to get.
Yeah, there was a time like apparently a lot of girls complain that dudes never like talk to them in public anymore. Like dudes don't go up to girls in public. Do you like do you approach girls like randomly at a bar? Do you ever do that?
All the time.
Hans Kim, one of the last OGs left.
I'm like, whenever I go in a bar, I try to talk to at least 5 girls before I leave.
And how's that? Are you hitting? Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't try to talk to anyone. I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. I just don't want to get rejected. I want to get as little pain as possible and as much pussy.
Do you think they correlate? Do you think like when you go and talk to girls, end up getting more pussy?
Yeah, you're just putting yourself out there, but it's like it comes at a cost, and like I'm too sensitive. I just love it too much.
It comes at a cost.
Yeah,
Does that shit affect you if you get like rejected badly? Like, do you think about it for
yeah,
a while?
yeah,
I used to, man. But now I just treat like rejection like that, like talking to like playing basketball. If I shoot a bunch of shots in the game,
yeah.
some are gonna go in, some good shots are gonna miss, some bad shots are gonna fall. And I just keep shooting. It doesn't matter if I make or miss, I just keep shooting.
But don't you think like exposing yourself to negative energy isn't good, and like a lot of people are suffering, so like
No.
majority of people are gonna have negative energy.
I just my thing is I don't give a fuck. Like whether she if she likes me, great. If she doesn't like me, great. I'm
Well,
still
do you
gonna be
think
me.
pussy is that much of a motivator to be like, hey, I'm willing to go through a lot to get this? Like how much of it do you need? Like how if you're looking too much for it, then it's like, why is that so important?
That's the real serious question. I think for me, and I've realized this is like that's why I don't really go out a lot because I'm just no longer in search of it like that. But like when there was a time when it was a premium. I was a fucking nerd. Like I wasn't getting any pussy back in like high school. Like all my friends were fucking having threesomes, like hitting everything.
Yeah.
I was getting no play.
Well, do you think like maybe if sex was like wasn't as like so anxious for people that there would be like a more healthy sexual community that it would be easier to have sex in, so you wouldn't like be deterred and be like a normal activity for people to do?
I think there's a certain group of the society that's their reality. There's just a much smaller group of people, and there's a lot more people who are in like I get no sex. But it's like I think the studies show or whatever, it's like 20% of the dudes are fucking like all of like 80% of the girls.
Uh-huh.
And so
But do you think like if a ecosystem is unhealthy at the bottom, it affects the people at top? Like they have to be feeling it a little bit. It must be better if everyone's having sex because then there's less desperation. There's less weird dudes that are gonna like come up and talk to you and like get mad at you for fucking people.
yeah, but that only happens but that's the thing is like for those dudes, business is great. It's like when the economy is like everything is concentrated in the top 10% or whatever it is. if you're in that 1% or whatever, you're at the top of the food chain. You got the power. You're loving
But
the game.
you don't think billionaires are unhappy?
Oh no, I think they're unhappy, but for other
Look at
reasons.
Elon Musk. He's not happy. Like
Oh
he's getting shit on all the
yeah,
time.
that's because money won't make you happier. Like
Yeah.
it'll give you the power and ability to do whatever the fuck you want, but it's not going to make you happier on the inside. Like studies have shown that, like after a certain amount of money, and it's not what one might think. There's no difference really from a guy that's like from your lifestyle in terms of what you can do at 500 million versus what you can do at 50 billion. Like 50 billion is a lot, but there's nothing at 500 you're like, oh no, I'm not able to pay my rent. I'm not able to travel. Like, what can you do at 550 million that's going to make you so much happier that you could do at
So
50 billion?
don't you think like people that have too much sex, they would be happier if we were all having sex at the bottom? I mean, I'm sure you're having enough sex, but if there was a healthy ecosystem of sex, it'd make everyone feel better. And I think like there's like a feeling of like it's not like a great place to be, so like less people are having sex and
Yeah, but those people that have those power and that control, they're not hanging out with regular people on the street. They don't give a fuck about what goes on for us. I think those people can give two shits. The politicians, they can give two fucking shits about the regular person.
so that's why I don't go out, is like I don't want to engage with these people that I don't think are
So,
going through a good thing.
yeah, so I don't go out a lot, but if I am out, I'll probably talk to some people. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Have you ever met someone and you're like, oh, you're like barely not homeless? Like this is barely above begging right now. You're just hanging out, especially at like an open mic where there's like people are trying to make friends and like, hey, by the way, do you have a place I could stay tonight? It's like if there's more of that when you're trying to fuck, then it's gonna fuck it up. And so,
Yeah, that shit does fuck it up. I had a friend stay on my couch and I didn't know he was there one night. I thought he was gone and I brought this girl back. And have you ever seen pussy dry up in real time? Like, have you ever seen like I met this
no.
girl. She was down to come back to the apartment. You know what that means. And
Oh, nice.
we're there. We walk in and my boy is just sleeping just watching TV on the couch in his shorts and shit. And I'm like, and I live in a one bedroom that's not that big at the time. And her wanting to make sex to me just like
It wasn't the good place. You should have been like, oh, we're just here to grab a coat. Let's go to your place.
yeah, that didn't work at the time and I fumbled the bag that
Well,
day.
that's what I'm here for, to help you get more pussy with my advice to you.
Where were you like 4 months ago, Hans? I needed you.
4 months ago? That's crazy, man. So your boy was just sitting there, just being a slob. What did you? What was the conversation like when she left? She was like, "Oh shit."
Bro, I was like, we couldn't go back to her place. So then I rolled a joint and we smoked it at the park down the street. And I was just like, I'm supposed to be getting pussy and I'm smoking weed on a fucking trail down the park. How did this happen? And we laughed about it for a really long time. But there was no coming back from that. We still talk, but we just took that out. And that happens sometimes.
I'm so sorry, man. As a nerd, that is one of the nerd codes. You can't stop your jock friends from getting laid, man.
There's
You can't get that, let that toxicity out. You gotta keep it contained, or else you're like a little nerdy little virus just spreading nerdy unsexiness, all to your friends. You gotta keep it inside you if you want cool friends.
hey, keep that bullshit in. Well, it's like there's different levels to it, right? Because like people think I get pussy, but then it's like when I was hanging out with like athletes or like other people, it's like there are levels to this shit. Like that,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
get people that actually like you and are like, "Oh, you're physically beautiful and you're like a good person that I want in my life." But they get pussy from like, like, "Oh, this is the person I have sex with." I mean, I'm sure you get that too. Just being a black man, a lot of people are just like, "Wow,
yeah,
I want to fuck a black guy that's nice looking."
I was
You're not
talking
like a threatening looking.
one that doesn't scare them, one that will make their parents happy. But no, I was talking about this with Paul Cyphers recently. I was like, Paul, the girls that like hit you up for sex, they're not looking for the same thing as like girls that hit me up randomly. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a stigma that comes with it that I think like that some girls do. Like, oh, this is a thing. But for the most part, I'm kind of past that point. Like, In order for me, because I had this come to Jesus moment with trying to get pussy, like we were talking about, like how like much pussy do you need, and when I was up until I was about like 30, it could have been all the pussy in the world wouldn't have been enough. Like I never,
You
like I was
need that
telling,
approval. You need to know that society loves you by having someone suck on your cock.
like, because I was telling you I never got like pussy in high school with all my boys, but I think it created a complex of some sort. So when I did start getting it, it was like, I now need to get the most of it. I need to show the world I'm a man. I'm a
Oh.
champion. And so I
Is
was
that how you feel when you orgasm? Champion!
ah, Savannah. You know, I hit the Lion King on him and shit. That's what I be giving the girls the Simba. Just bust on their forehead and wipe it across.
Oh
Simba.
my god. So do girls ever say, "Wow, you have the biggest dick that I've ever had inside of my body"?
Ah, I haven't heard that one a lot. I have not heard that one a lot.
That's because you got a small dick, bro.
Aw. You know,
Well,
I did used to think I have a small dick. I
I have a
really
small
did.
dick.
Do you?
No,
Okay. I
I
mean, I
like
know.
it. It does what it needs for me.
I had a friend that we used to, yeah, at some point, and it was like a serious problem for him.
You
And
got a
used to,
small dick.
yeah, and it fucked up like his confidence. It fucked up like his life. Like it made him like afraid to try anything. Like he tried all sorts of like dick pills and all sorts of like treatments and like I
Well,
think
why didn't he just get really good at like rubbing it on the outside of people?
just fingering them with his dick.
Yeah, you have like a clit now. You can use like an offensive clit.
You know, it's all about the equipment you have. You know, you got to make that technique work
Do
for
you
you.
think as a man it's important to know that you can commit a sex crime at any moment?
It's a fucking wild. It's a wild power to have. Like I used to never think about that until like I stopped being an asshole and listening to women. It was like, you mean to tell me that every time you're just trembling in fear that this man can just do anything he wanted to you, and you're just, and I used to be a little bitch, so I never thought I had that power. But like now, after having like done
Yeah,
some shit,
we're
I'm like,
just born with it. Nobody asked us if we could handle it.
there's no test to get that power. You know, you're just
We just all have it. Even your shittiest, stupidest friend.
yeah, you just got that. It's got that dummy strength.
You just have like a nuclear bomb in your pants that you can just explode and ruin your career with
You
at
can
any
ruin
moment.
people's lives. You can ruin your whole life with this thing.
You could,
And the fucked up thing is, it makes a lot of decisions for you, bro. That thing has a mind of its own. They didn't tell you that.
yeah,
They didn't tell you that thing. You would just be in seventh grade and be like, Ben, do you want to do this? And you're like, nah, I don't want to do shit right now. I'm going to be in seventh period for 4 hours while this subsides. Like, it just pops up in no time. Like, that
yeah.
thing, it controls itself. And there's no manual for how to handle that shit.
I love handling my shit. Are you like into
Why?
different kinds of sex?
Uh, yeah. I don't know what kind of question is that. Do you mean I like to mix up my sex game? Yeah, for sure.
Is there something like you like to do that is like something that you do that is unique and you're like, damn, I can't wait to like do this to some bitch.
Like I have a move that I do, tornado twister. Like what? I'm over here like,
I
yes.
like to grab the stomach.
You like to push down on the stomach?
Just like hold onto the stomach like when you're doing sideways sex.
Okay.
Is just get a good grip on the stomach because I think the stomach is a very underrated sexual part.
You know what I think about the stomach? What it does is randomly, a lot of girls are very insecure about their stomachs. And so when you like hold the stomach or you grab their stomach, it gives them a sense that like you're not ashamed of it or they're not like big. Like it gives them
Yeah.
confidence in that. Like, because every girl's conscious about her weight. Like not every girl, but like 80%, 90% of them are all think about their weight and their look, and their stomach
Yeah.
is like where all
I'm
your
not a girl. I'm conscious about my weight.
yeah. But the stomach is where it all goes. Everyone's conscious about their stomach.
Yeah.
So when you hold it, it's like, oh, he's okay with this. It's like a sense of confidence. Like it gives
Yeah,
them
and
a
it
little thing.
feels good to be touched at the part where you're worried about,
You're most vulnerable,
where you're
right?
like, oh, he's squeezing it. So
He's
it's like,
caressing it.
it's there. So it's good that it was there to have been caressed if it wasn't
Yeah.
further.
And he's
But
not disgusted
you
by
gotta
it.
like the belly. You can't just be out here grabbing bellies.
Yeah, man. Just rolling up to girls on the street, grabbing their bells. like a
You know,
savage.
Jimmy Peoples is a New York comedian. He used to say like him and his like little friends when they were like five, they would get together and rub bellies together. Like that was like their sexy thing that they did as kids.
Well, all right, I guess
And it's like, yeah, that's kind of like a weird way to do it, but that I think bellies are very sensitive.
they're very sensual. Yeah, I don't. The thing is, the sex I have with a girl depends on how much I like the girl or like.
So you try to like give them like a participation trophy depending on how much you like them. You like, here you go.
Not even like that. It's just like depending on our relationship. Like some girls like to have like wild, freaky ass shit. Like they like it, and some girls want to be more like slow and sensual. It just depends like what the vibe is.
So you like fucking nerdy girls that just want to cuddle and just want you to like, you know.
I'm an equal opportunist. I'm not at the point where I get to be choosy in terms of what they preference likes. Like if we have a connection and you're attractive enough and you want to play
So
this game,
you're
let's do
like a
that.
versatile. You're willing to fit any style.
Yeah, my game is adaptable. You know, sometimes I need to shoot a lot of threes. Sometimes I got to attack the paint. Whatever we need to get we need to get the job done as a team here.
So you like being whatever it needs to be. You like you are versatile. You're like good at doing that.
Yeah, I think I just because I grew up in like a really weird environment, like compared to like my home life and like where I lived. Like we were an African family in like the whitest city in like one of the whitest states in the world. So it's like in Africa, I'm like eating like at home, I'm eating like rice, not pondu, not fufu, and then I'm going to school and kids are like, "Fuck you, mom," and you're like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on in this world?" Because if I said "fuck you, mom," I promise you that would be a funeral in session. Like that would have been the end of me. And then I go over to some kid's house and they're just like, "Shut the fuck up, mom! I hate you, you dumb bitch!" And the mom's like, "I'm so sorry, Cruz." And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this world? That shit was
Yeah.
a fucking trip.
What was the question?
That's a great question.
You were black, you're in Africa, you're in America now. You were like, we're talking about, what are we talking about?
And the mom's like, I'm so sorry. I just went on a rant. We lost it.
Ah, well, anyways, you were black.
No, we were talking about like trying to get pussy and like being
Oh,
versatile. You were saying like I'm
oh, okay.
versatile, like I fit
So,
in.
oh yeah, you grew up in the whatever
Yeah, so like
neighborhood.
that made me like kind
Okay.
of able to just kind of like meld into any environment. And so whatever we need in that moment, we just make that shit work.
Well, even when you're doing your own thing, you're still doing it your way. So no matter what character you're playing, you're still playing it your own
It's
style.
it's not even a character kind of thing. It's just more so in terms of like sometimes it's like comedy when you're on a stage. Sometimes you need more energy. Sometimes you need a little bit less.
You don't
Sometimes
want to go on a date with someone that isn't trying to like get to know you and trying to like talk to you.
yeah, but everyone's kind of different. Some people are a little bit more shy. Some people are a little bit more outgoing, and it's I'm just trying to meet them where they're at in the sense that like some people like they want you to kind of take the lead and do a lot of the talking or whatever. Some girls want you to they just love to talk and hear their own voice, and you just
But
have to like
isn't
be
it
there and
weird
listen.
when like you're both trying to do what the other person wants and no one can get a good read and then you're just constantly switching back and forth
Nah,
with
because
bitch.
see, because when you make it feel natural, they don't know that's what you're doing.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is how he always is."
Yeah.
But what if it's not natural, like me?
So, yeah, that's not everybody's thing. So you just have to be unapologetically yourself at all times.
I think what I have to do is latch on to one person that accepts me for who I am and just develop a traumatic bond with her and just coil ourselves together.
Become one, meld
Yeah,
into the universe.
yeah.
Have one
And we're
name.
speaking our own language and no one even understands. It's not relatable to anyone.
A lot of Eskimo kisses and booping on the nose.
Yeah, and then we just explode in an
Yeah,
orgy of.
I'm pretty sure that's what Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love had. So, and then that worked out well for him.
Are you like a multiple partners kind of African man, or are you like a loyalist?
So my grandpa was a polygamist. He had like 4 or 5 wives on my dad's side, and my dad was like a one woman man like his whole life. I like being single. I love me some me. I don't really like I
You
think
don't need
just
to bond with someone and lose yourself in another person.
I don't want to lose myself in another person. Like I want another person to be themselves and I'm myself. Why do we got to lose ourselves in each other? I'm
Because
not trying to find myself. I already know who
it's
I am.
called synergy. That you become one and you become a better organism.
Yeah, but that you don't have to lose yourself. I mean, sure you have to compromise in some things. Like maybe she wants
Okay.
to watch some dumb show that I don't like to watch, but if she wants to watch it, I'll watch it. Like maybe that's a compromise I make sometimes, but I'm
So
not.
you think multiple pussy is better, more reliable for sex than just one constant pussy?
Nah, I don't even think that's true. I just think the way that my life works, being single is the best thing for me right now.
Okay, so you're from the Congo, the
Yeah.
Democratic People's Republic of the Congo,
No peoples, but Democratic Republic of the Congo, the
and
gangster one with all the child soldiers and shit.
DRC.
Yeah,
So you grew up there till you were seven,
about five.
5,
Yeah,
same
so
thing.
yeah, same shit. I was a wee
I
bit
moved when
lad
I was 7, so
from
I'm just
Korea.
trying to relate. No, from New Jersey to Seattle. So I know what it's like for you to have gone from the Congo. Is it that? Why is there the in front of Congo?
I think people just called it the Congo. I don't think it's ever been called the Congo.
The Democratic. Okay, well, so
Well,
you're
it
from
used to
the
be called
Congo.
Zaire.
Oh,
So yeah, they changed the name. That's how you know a country's fucked up if you got to change the name. You got to
yeah.
rebrand a whole ass country, dude.
It wasn't even close to the original.
No, we can't. They won't know it's us. Like Germany
Yeah.
started two world wars and still goes by Germany. What the fuck was what was Zaire
Yeah,
doing that
we're
they had?
like, we're gonna name you Pink Fluffy Land, you little bitches.
Yeah.
So you know, like Lumumba was killed by the CIA, probably with help from the CIA. It was one of the first things that happened in the Cold War.
Lumumba was my grandfather on my mom's side was in Lumumba's cabinet. Bro,
Your
this is just
grandmother, wait,
so my granddad on my mom's
uh-huh,
side. So
yeah,
my grandfather on my mom's
yeah,
side was part of Lumumba's cabinet.
of
So
course.
when they came to assassinate Lumumba, soldiers came for my granddad, and my mom was a kid. Her and my grandma had to like run through the jungle for like 3 days to get away from soldiers looking to kill my granddad. That was like my mom's childhood.
Did they find the granddad?
They did find him, and they were supposed to
Oh,
shoot him in the
uh-huh.
back of the head.
Oh
They took him
no.
out to the jungle to shoot him, but the soldier that was supposed to do it like knew who he was and like didn't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
So my grandpa like went on the run and he was gone. He was caught after like a year. They caught him and he spent the rest of his life in prison.
But he survived.
Yeah, well the year he got out of prison was the year I was born, and the same year he died.
So would you say the CIA fucked up by killing Lumumba?
I mean, they fucked up the Congo. They fucked up the Congo desperately. Like Lumumba, that's why they killed Lumumba because he wanted to keep the Congo's resources to the Congo. And they were like, no, no, no. And they fucking put in this leader, the guy, the general from the African side that helped the CIA and the Canada was involved with some other countries that helped them, the African general from the African side. His name was Mobutu. And then they installed him as the president. So he became like a puppet president
hmm
and he was in power for like 20 like 5 28 years.
And he was pretty good at his job. He was nice to his opponents.
He was nice to his people, the CIA. He was real good to them.
So he was pilfering the country and letting other people pilfer the country.
Yeah, exactly what he was doing. And then he started feeling guilty about it, so he's the one that changed the name back to Zaire. And then he wanted to kind of free the Congo, and then they assassinated him and brought in the new guy, and the cycle continues.
Oh my God, I didn't even know about the second guy.
No one. That's the thing. You never learn about the Congo in school. Like you learn about all sorts of things. King Leopold, the Belgian, like the genocide in the Congo was like one of the largest genocides, like by like deaths. It was like 4 times as many deaths as the Holocaust. But you never learn about that in school.
So do you think white people are the most evil people in the world right now or all time?
That's a when you think about it, white people have done some wild shit. Like the tribes and shit, and like
Well,
the fucking world were just chilling and shit, and white people were like, "We are going to fuck your shit up."
yeah, I mean, they are really good at it. I mean,
I
people were doing it before, but
No, I will say they're the best at it. Like
yeah.
their mechanisms and weapons for killing have been historically
But it's not just the Congo. They fucked up
everywhere.
Kenya, probably.
I don't know shit about the rest of. I just know the Congo because the Congo has all the resources.
Yeah, the cobalt.
But then they did the same. They did shit like that in all over the world. Like you look at Bolivia, Venezuela, the Iran Contra scandal in Nicaragua. Like when we get
Iraq,
to Iraq, yeah,
Afghanistan,
like
Vietnam.
we have more. There are more U.S. bases throughout the world than there are countries in the world. Like, does that make any
Yeah.
sense? We have more military bases than countries in the
Well, we
world.
have a different kind of army than everyone else. Everyone else has like a defensive army, but we have an army that can strike anywhere in the world because we're looking out for global capital. Like we need rubber from Thailand, and if that goes weird, then we need the soldiers there to fuck it up to make them do what we want. So
Yeah, we got to have the
we're
control.
Matt Christman says America is the rent-a-cop for global capital.
That's a good way to put it.
And we're all subsidizing it because we pay taxes here.
Yeah, a rent a cop with really big guns. Like they
Yeah.
got the technology they have is crazy. Like you look at like right now the like civilians we just recently got 5G like a little bit ago. Everyone's like 5G is coming. Now we got 5G. Now 5G was rejected by the military. They said it wasn't good enough for their technology and after testing it and doing a bunch of research, they 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 released their patent on it and that's why now we can get phones 5G, but the military's already way fucking past that.
Yeah.
So it's like their fucking technology is years ahead of like what civilians get here.
Yeah, I think white people are like they did a lot of bad shit, but it's like, you know, it's like, it's they're still good people. I
No,
don't think they're like awful
no, I
people.
don't think white people are bad. I think white people just push shit to limits that no one else would ever do. Like they just, it's like black people are like, we are going to look at the stars, and the white people are like, we're gonna go to the fucking moon. You know, like they just
Like
push.
we will kill five other enemies. I was like, why don't we kill all of them?
Yeah,
And then why don't we take over all their stuff?
it's like, yeah, we are going to have a war with that tribe. The white people are like, yo, we can have a war with the fucking world, bro. Like they just take everything to the next level, which
Yeah,
is good in some
if you
cases, you
look
know.
at a map of that, that'd be crazy to see like Europe, all like 5,000 years just chilling there, and all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
all over, and then they all go back,
Remember
except for America.
they used to say like the sun never sets on the British because their empire was so big. Like India
Yeah,
got fucked up
scattered
because they were there.
everywhere.
Yeah, but then it's like if you go
Yeah.
to like all of Africa is owned by European countries. At some point in like the late 1800s, Europe was just like, hey, if you can take over anywhere in Africa, it's yours. Good luck. What about the people that live there? Fuck them. And then they just went and they just split up Africa. Like this is
Well,
ours. This is that. This is
was it the gun or was it the Ottoman? Why didn't the Ottoman Empire do that? Because they were like running shit too.
I don't well because they were separated by oceans for a while. There's like the what is that the Bering Strait right there? Not the Bering Strait, whatever that strait is.
Mediterranean Sea,
Yeah, but there's a connection from Europe to Africa, northern Africa. Like,
Gibraltar.
Yeah, the I've been to Gibraltar actually. It's owned by the British, by the way. Yeah, go figure. Went to the Rock of
Spain
Gibraltar.
got fucked up.
Yeah. So, but then like you look at a lot of French countries in Africa. That's why French is so common in Africa. Like every African person speaks French because the French colonized a lot of Africa. Like
Yeah.
like the Congo was. There's the Belgian Congo and the French Congo. So I'm from the Belgian Congo, but everyone spoke French. So French is the national language of Congo, which is wild to think about. That'd be like Spanish being the national language of America.
Yeah.
So
Well, Spanish is the national language of South America. That's how hard they got fucked.
yeah, all of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put that together. So it's like it's kind of the same thing, but white people are just they're real good at pushing things to the next level because now we
Yeah,
have
because they're behind a desk. They're like, oh, why don't we push this number up? And then some other guy does it. So like they have like this system where no one takes full responsibility. And they're like, because they're very individualistic. So they found a way to harness their individualism to create an organism that can do things. Because Asian societies are very communistic. So like they are aware. They're like, okay, we are a large organism, so let's take care of to not do horrible things as a large organism. Even though they do, they have other ways to justify it.
right.
But the way that white people do it, I think, is like they're not thinking about so no one has to take on any moral responsibility.
Well, I think the one thing I've noticed about white culture compared to like most other cultures, like if you look at like Asian cultures, African cultures, Latino and Hispanic cultures, um, is like they're all very community based. Like you go to a friend's house and it's like their grandma's there, their uncles are there, their cousins there. It's like the family's like that organism and everyone does everything for the family. Well, a lot of white people hate their families. They're like, I'm cool with my families except for like Italians. The rest of them
In
are like,
America,
yeah, It's like American culture is like, fuck, my family's around, bro. And you're like, your
Yeah.
family's like staying with you. You're like, fuck, they're here. And it's like they don't have that same sense. So like, you just push anything because it doesn't matter. It's like those people over there and we're over here. Like fuck 'em. Versus other cultures are like, we're all in this
That
together.
keeps you humble and keeps you from doing horrible things because you need a grandma there to be like, oh yeah, don't like murder people.
Yeah, not to do horrible, but it also like brought a lot of good things, like things like making electricity and the light bulb. It's like we push everything, and
Yeah, we
that's
have
good.
no foundation holding us back. We have no like old traditions and bullshit.
Right. And that's good in some senses, but then it's like in some senses it's fucked up because it's like you
Yeah.
can push things, but then they kind of do it in ways that are fucked up. Like, have you ever seen the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car?
Yeah.
They were talking about how before the gas car was like created, there was an electric car, and this electric car back like in the before the gas car, so in like the 1800s, used to have electric powered cars, and they had these like it was like the going thing. But then when oil started becoming a thing, they killed the electric car. They came out with the Model T, and we've been on gas ever since. And now like Elon Musk is bringing it back, but it's nothing new. But it's like the powers that be took that like push everything to the upper limit, and then they took it and they're like, oh, but we can make fucking money off these suckers doing it this way. And
Yeah.
that's what fucks shit up.
Yeah, because you're parasitizing your own society.
Yeah, because
Like,
when it doesn't matter, when you don't have that community of your grandma and your cousins and your little things to worry about all the time, it's like, oh, this is our
it's
people.
good when we're
Fuck those
doing it to
people.
other people, but when we start doing it to ourselves, that's an organism that doesn't work. And like America was built on slavery, so we have like this thing where we have a portion of the population that we don't care about, and we're like trying to fuck them up actively. And it's like it makes you hate yourself. So it's like, how can an organism that hates itself, survive? Like, so there's gonna be another place that does it better.
Well, I mean, no civilization has ever survived forever. So
Yeah,
at some point, what goes up must come down. And and most civilizations, they always make you fear like the fucking Russians or someone from like outside, but they always fall from within the nation. It's always from inside.
yeah.
Like that's how things like this fall. And at some point, the United States is going to go through that. Like we're out here on a paper dollar. The dollar means literally nothing anymore. Like in the global
So
economy,
you think it's gonna be useless to know English? We're gonna be like, well, we know like a useless skill from back in the day. How quickly do you think it could happen, like overnight, where it's like, oh, now everyone needs to learn, and who would take over? Because everyone else sounds horrible, like Russia or China.
it's not going to be great. I mean, that's the thing. We've been pretty much bullying the rest of the world for so long. If anyone else gets a chance, like the kid that's bullying someone, and then someone else is like, "Oh, we got you now, little bitch," and now they start taking shots. Hey, everybody, come get these shots. That's gonna be us, bro. We're gonna be
Yeah,
that bully in the
we're gonna
playground.
be like
Everyone's kicking you when you're down.
we're gonna be like refugees and like, oh, I thought you guys hated refugees.
Yeah, well. Look who's come crawling back. Like that's gonna be America when shit goes down here because we made
Maybe we could
millions.
be like, hey, remember Top Gun? Remember Beverly Hills Cops? Remember Avatar? Zendaya? Zendaya.
Watch Dune 2. Come on. I'm just gonna be over there like, do not worry about it. I'm African now. It's not going to be like I am from the Congo. No, no, America. What is that?
All you have to do is burn your passport.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm undocumented.
Yes, I am a refugee. Yes.
Yeah, you're good. You have a head start, a refugee.
Gotta have a black backup, a blackup plan.
So how did you end up in America if you were like an enemy of America?
We're not an enemy of America, but they won't let you have
Well,
dual.
you're Lumumba.
They won't let you have dual citizenship.
Yeah,
So they made us like essentially renounce our Congolese citizenship to become American citizens.
that's crazy.
Like a lot of countries, they let you like be dual citizens. They won't let you without the Congo. When my brother-in-law came here, from Africa, his last name is actually Lumumba. My sister married him, and he's a Lumumba.
Hell
And
yeah.
so when he got to the airport in the United States, they fucking put him in those interrogation rooms at the airport, and they kept him in there for like 3 days as a political dissident, like interrogating, asking all these questions, and like kept him locked up.
Yeah.
And then they said that if he like wasn't here as like a political despondent or whatever or to stir up anything, they would give him a citizenship. So he became a citizen in the United States.
Because
It's
they were afraid of him.
yeah, they gave him his citizenship faster. I moved here in 1994 or whatever it was, and he became a citizen before I did. He'd been here for 6 months,
They
became
were
a citizen.
like, oh shit.
Yeah, it took me 14 years to get my citizenship, and they gave it to him in 6 months because of who he was. They're like, if you don't cause any political drama, anything where like that,
So you got to have something over them. They respond to power. They like that.
Yeah, well, I ain't got enough. I ain't got it
You're
like
a
that.
child.
What's up?
You're a little baby. You can't be expected to get your citizenship.
Yeah, so that happened,
You
but
should
yeah,
get try to get molested. You could probably got one then.
I'd become Italian, live at the Vatican. That's where you get molested at.
So that's crazy. So you got the citizenship because they were afraid of you.
No, no, no. That's how he got his.
How did you get to like? Isn't it hard to get to America, or was it pretty easy back then?
Well, it was easier before 9/11.
Yeah,
Before 9/11, you could. It was a lot easier. But our situation was kind of fucked up because my dad couldn't get visas to get us out of Congo,
yeah.
and so him and my mom moved to the United States, and me and I had five siblings at that time. My little sister was born in Colorado. But we were like spread out throughout Africa for like 3 years because they wouldn't give my dad visas to let us kids go. So we all got separated in Africa.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So that happened when I was like one. And so I was just like floating on my own in Africa with like family members. And me and my brother ended up getting really sick. We were like with one of our cousins. And me and him were like the same age when I was like probably about two. Me and my cousin were like 6 months apart. We got in Lingala, they call it kwashiorkor. It's like malnutrition, like the pot bellied African children. And people think I make a joke about it, and people think I'm joking. And I'll even say it's only funny because it's true, and people will laugh, but they don't know that that shit is actually true as hell.
Yeah, I mean that's why you guys are good at basketball because you guys have different bodies.
Well, he didn't make it. My cousin never made it.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're good. I didn't. I mean, it's. I was very young. I just know the story. But I always think like it could have been him sitting right here, and I could have been the one that didn't make it. And I always think like, fuck it, we gotta live now. So like things like when people like, oh, I want to kill myself and like really do it, that shit blows my mind. Cause I'm like, bro, I've done so much to live. I mean, I'm trying to be here. Like,
Yeah, it's such a gift that people are like, oh,
bro,
well, I always had it easy, so I don't really care.
bro, I'm
I'm
like,
kind of sick of it. I just want to quit.
this shit is overrated. I don't like it. I'm like, bro, that's so crazy to me. Like, bro, I've been out here trying to, you're out here trying to strive and survive and like just get by, and then you're like, yeah, this isn't worth anything to me. That shit is mind blowing to me. And
Yeah, I mean,
I don't hate on
people
anyone who does
think
it, but
different ways. I mean,
yeah,
we can't all be from the Congo.
no, I'm just saying. Well, yeah, not make it out. That's for sure. Not a lot of people do, but like it's just I'm just saying that thought process is so foreign to me because of
Well,
that
yeah,
experience. Like,
like they
the,
have like a fundamental, like the most fundamental thing about you is different with them. So it's like, imagine how many different types of people there can be.
yeah, that's what makes it crazy. There's so many different types of people, and I'm like, I wish that I could understand the way those people thought. I wish I could understand what's going on in their head
Why would you want to understand that?
because I think you can. You're talking about making the world a better place. I think when more people understand each other, then you can kind of see things outside of yourself and see things from a different perspective. That makes the world a better place.
Well, can you imagine just like being old and like sick and you're like, might as well kill myself. Like just do that, but younger.
I feel like if I get to the point where I'm not able to like take care of myself and I'm like in a hospital bed with tubes and shit, like pull the plug.
Yeah.
Like if I get to like that point where I can't like take care of myself, if I have to fucking shit in a diaper and I can't wipe my own ass, like
Well, imagine like getting up out of bed and like going to work is like shitting in a diaper for some people, and maybe they're not that hot, and nobody will fuck them, and they don't have a family, and they just like, well, I'm not doing anything for society. I'm like making photocopies. Might as well just kill myself.
I mean that's the thing is like you don't have to.
Yeah, you could play basketball.
You could do whatever the fuck you wanted. You could literally be like, fuck this job. I'm gonna go fucking travel or go paddleboard. Go do whatever the fuck you wanted to do.
It's a choose your own adventure. Even if you're ugly, you can
Bro,
still.
ugly people can do shit. What does Cat Williams say? He's like, bro, I mean, fucking Jay Z married Beyonce. Like, shit is possible. Ugly people can do shit. You see, bro,
Don't let that stop you.
no, it shouldn't. Fucking flavor.
Maybe you should stop talking so loud when you're white river rafting and everyone else is hot. Like no one wants to hear what the ugly person wants to say.
Be more quiet in public spaces if you're ugly. That's
You can come out, but just be careful.
just be cool, you know, and just keep your words to yourself. Like Flavor Flav made millions and became famous. Flavor Flav,
Yeah.
he might be one of the ugliest human beings that have ever lived.
He looks different, but he has a small head.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of ugly people that make it famous. Who am I trying to think of? Fucking Mick Jagger. That motherfucker is ugly as hell. And people are
Yeah.
trying to convince us that fucking Adam Driver is attractive. That dude is goofy as hell.
He
That dude,
looks like a penis.
bro, his whole body looks like a giant dick. And but
Yeah.
they're trying to tell us that's hot. I don't trust these motherfuckers at all. So don't let that stop you, bro. They
Yeah,
fucking do
maybe you're
anything.
the next Adam Driver.
Listen, I'm with it. If they want to be like, yeah, this ugly guy is hot, I'm like, sign me up, bro. I will be that guy. I will Adam Driver for the people.
So what are your thoughts on the whole situation that's going on with the South by Southwest crew? They're all here. It's changed the city.
In what way?
It's crowded, it's hard to park, there's more people.
Bro, South by Southwest is too fucking long. It's like 10 days. Why do you need a 10-day fucking festival? No
It
other festival is
started
10 days.
Thursday.
And it goes till like next like Sunday.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like what we have is awesome already.
Yeah, you don't need that. Like South by used to just be like a bunch of like concerts at local like bars and shit.
Yeah.
And now there's the fucking tech week and a bunch of nerds come out here and there's like movie and releases and all these symposiums and all this other fucking shit. It's like, bro, do some live music, do some fucking comedy, call it a fucking day. We don't need all this other shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. Uh,
Do you go to a lot of South by events?
no.
No, I mean it just makes it's just like a hassle around town. I'm just like bitching like I'm from here and I've lived here for so long. It's old Austin the way I liked it. Like I just got here like 3 years ago.
Well, I like that it's a thing. It's good to do things, I guess. The more things that you have, the better. It makes people come here. But yeah, South by is cool. So what's the next thing in like Austin? Are you like trying to figure out what Austin's all about?
Yeah, I mean I like the city. I think comedy, I gotta figure out what that's all about here. Um, but it's grown on me. I don't know if I'll stay here forever, but I like it for the time being.
Yeah, I
There's
like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like this is one of those cities, like I think we were talking about earlier, like if you can get into the good spots like comedically, then like it's a dope place to be. If you're kind of out on the outside watching it and like looking in, you're like, okay, how do I make my way in here? And that's kind of like
Well,
a
I feel like there could be more stage time. I feel like there isn't a lot of stage time. Are you like getting up as much as you think that you? Because like there's like stages you could get up at, like Lucky Duck, but
yeah.
there's like creek mics and stuff. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to find good stage time sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been feeling like I've been struggling to find the stage time. I think this year has been a little bit better than the past couple years in terms of getting in at a couple more places, like doing
Yeah,
like I'm in at the Black Rabbit, so that's been helpful doing some spots
nice.
over there. But yeah, just trying to get in more and show up more
It's
and
crazy how it works because like yeah, like people need to like be your friends almost
yeah,
to book you.
that's kind of how this thing is. Either like you're friends with the people and they book you on each other's shows, or you host your own show and you book people on that, so they book you back.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
like New York for stage time. I think that might be a good thing to do sometimes. Just go to New York.
how is the New York scene like in terms of getting on stage?
Um, I don't know.
Like how was it when you were there?
I was getting up a lot, but it was like open mics and stuff.
That's the thing. I don't even mind going to open mics. Just it's like some open mics when it's all fucking just comics sitting there jerking each other off. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm past
Actually
that
thinking
point.
about it, I really don't like it.
Like if you can get any people that aren't comics to fucking jerk each other off at an open mic, fine, I'll go. But like I that's just not doing anything for me. Like I'm past
Yeah,
that. Not even
me
better than
too,
that, but it's just
probably.
like it doesn't help anything. You're not gonna fucking try out you're not gonna do anything with that environment. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, the Congo, you think like we could have done a better job of like not fucking it up and like, seeing it as an equal and like treating it with respect, and then we would have had like a cool Congo.
Here's the thing about the Congo. If the Congo was like, so they say that if the Congo got to keep all of its resources, its GDP would be close to like low estimates, like 60, 70 trillion dollars. The United States GDP is the highest in the world right now at about $24 trillion. So that tells you how much money is in the resources in the Congo.
So it's never gonna get fixed
Never.
because there's so much money.
Exactly. Like that's why it's been like that for hundreds of
The
years.
people are just a pawn in the
Yeah.
bigger scheme.
It's like if everybody bands together to fuck these people over, all these people were killing it as long as these people get fucked over.
Maybe
And
the
the rest of the world
Congo.
decided that was okay. They're just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck them.
Oh. So maybe the Congo should just be a place where we go to get resources. Like nobody should live there.
Except for all the hundreds of millions of people that already do and already have. Like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
100 million?
Congo is one of the most popular countries in the world. Landmass
Oh my
wise, it's
God.
like physically like it's top five biggest countries in the world by like area, but it's also home to the second largest um, rainforest in the world. So it goes um, the Amazon jungle, the Amazon rainforest, and then the one in the Congo.
So do you think like we have a bad relationship with beautiful things and we see a beautiful country like the Congo and we just squeeze it till
We do that
it's
with
not good?
everything, right? Like we just see like I was in Mexico recently, like I was and I went to this like they have those cenotes, like those like fucking cliff pools and shit. And there's some of them that are in the middle of the fucking jungle that it's pristine, it's unfucking touched. And then you go there and then they're like, "Oh yeah, they're building a resort here in 2 years. They've already started breaking ground over there." And it's like all of these fucking beautiful nature areas that are unfucking touched. We're just like, "Oh yeah, let's chop these trees down and build a fucking reserve right here." And it's like that's what we do with everything.
So yeah, I mean that seems like one way of doing things. It doesn't seem that hard to change that kind of mentality.
Yeah, but that would change fundamentally. The fundamental idea of capitalism would have to change for that not to be a thing. Because then you're stopping free market, you're stopping these business people, these fucking industries of titans of industry from building a new venture here and capitalizing on this land that they paid for. Like you would have to fundamentally change how this country works for that to not work. And as we spread Western culture to the rest of the world, other people get the same way in the same like capitalistic view as America.
But if America can do spread that idea, maybe we could spread a better idea faster and better. We just have to like stop having this culture of fear where like everyone's afraid of America, and so that's gonna happen soon. So then after that happens, we're gonna be like, okay, well, we can't destroy each other, so why don't we try to make things better?
Who's gonna do that? You think these politicians are that smart? Do you fucking think Joe Biden's awake enough to put that together? These guys are fucking. You think Trump's gonna be like, yeah, I'm here for the to save the regular ass people I didn't like before I became president. Now I can't stand these fuckers even less. Like, no one's coming to do that. There's no money in that.
So what do you think about the Israel thing?
Ooh, I just, I don't, I just don't support. Like Israel's wanton murder is wild, bro. Like we just send them money consistently, and they're just like blowing niggas up, just crazy. And
Yeah, it's kind of rude.
we're just cool with it. Like it's so fucking funny. Like not funny, but like we let certain people. If someone like if this was like Iraq that did this shit, we took them over in a second. We'd be like, look at how evil they are. But then Israel does it, and we're just like, we didn't see shit.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia does wild shit. We're like, we didn't see shit. But then fucking Iran's like, hey, we're like, bitch, we will murder your general on live television just because we can. Say
Shut
something,
the
bitch.
fuck
You
up.
bitch.
Yeah,
We just
man.
backhanded them in front of the world. We did that shit to some people. But certain people were just like, nope, we didn't see nothing.
They're general. Like, who can we not kill of them? We're like, hey, we're gonna go into your cabinet. We could kill their politicians. But he was in Iraq. He deserved it. But yeah, I mean, I think Israel's crazy, but that's like, I think they're like a little late to the game and they want a little piece of the pie. But they're doing what like everyone else did, like to the Congo and to Venezuela.
It's nothing new for sure.
Yeah.
It is definitely,
They're just doing it now when we have smartphones.
yeah. And then they're just pretending, everyone's just pretending like it's not happening. Everyone's just looking the other way, like,
But
yeah,
they're like very logical people. They're like, well, technically you did it. So if this is okay, then we should be allowed to. I think they're like just acculturated to what we're doing. They're like feeling the energy of the vibes of the world.
I think
Like
we're
America.
supporting them in doing it. We're like, hell yeah, dude, you're our ally. Here, take all this money. Like we send so much money to them, so it's
Yeah,
like
it's like at some point they're gonna use it. It's
Yeah.
like you're giving a kid a loaded handgun, and you're being like, "Hey, don't kill the Palestinians."
What do you mean? We gave him we gave him fucking loaded missiles, bro. We're like, here, keep blowing those niggas up. We go on TV. We're like, we don't condone this behavior. Here, take more of these missiles.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking
We're gonna
about?
put you on a little piece of land with the Palestinians and give you $500 billion in missiles every year. Don't do anything crazy. Good luck.
Yeah, goodness. Well, the Palestinians started it. Yeah, they started it because they have a $500 billion U.S. budget with fucking the crazy military technology. They're the ones with
Yeah.
it. Like,
But it's so crazy that the Jews went from being the victims of the Holocaust, and everyone was just like, Jew, Jew, Jew. And now everyone is like, whoa, Jews are a little, they're a little, but now it's not just the crazy people. Like, what happened to the crazy people that hate the Jews? Are they like, I told you so?
Kanye, do you think Kanye West is somewhere like making a song about it? He's just
Yeah.
like, I told y'all about them Jews.
Broken clock is twice right, twice a day in the right way.
I think that's like the George Bush version of that quote. There's
I
a
am
saying down in
literally
Texas, fool,
melting my brain.
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again. I love that quote. George Bush just fucking up shit.
Yeah, that was great. That was better. But yeah, I mean, I think like America has done like a lot of horrible shit, and I think it's horrible. And I think like we need to like not do horrible things, but like the current mentality is just like I think we're gonna do more horrible things.
Well, I think now everyone's just kind of on board with it, so everyone else understands how we've played this game for so long,
Yeah.
and they're now all starting to play the game
Well,
the same
you know
way.
what I don't understand is the people that are like, well, why would you have like a poster of like Black Lives Matter on your thing? It's like it's better than not having it. It's like I'd rather live in a world where people, support black people than not like they don't want you to like express any, like sorrow or any
Well,
regret.
I always find it like funny that people. It's like, why are you so against it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you find it necessary to like point out that you're not for it? Like, you could
Yeah.
literally just shut up. Like, you could just not say anything. But the fact that you have to come out of your way to like let me know how you feel about this thing tells me everything I need to fucking know.
Yeah, it's an aggressive thing. They want to aggressively keep us in the
Bro,
1950s.
you would be shocked how many people come up to me on a consistent basis after a couple of drinks that they've had and want started espousing their ideas about Black Lives Matter and how they feel. I don't give a fuck. Like I give no
Yeah.
fucking fucks about your opinion, but they just find it necessary to
But
start.
isn't that crazy? Because most people don't think they're like that. But it's like, I think it's like a segregation thing. Like, I think we don't think about what we get passed down, so it gets in even deeper. And we don't realize it's an ancient idea that's in our heads.
Well, also that, but the United States is now more segregated than it was during the time of segregation. Like,
Nice.
yeah, so it's like we went forward, but we really didn't go that far forward. Like, not in the way that everything. America's about
It's
optics, you
it's
know.
better, yeah, but
It
economically, people are still living in poverty, living miserable lives that are
you
black
you
more so
have
than whites
if you
in
think
terms of
about it,
per
right?
capita, I
But like
think.
if you think about it, up until like that time, and not just in the South, like a lot of black people couldn't own property, right? They couldn't own any of their things. But like a lot of people, like if you're a white kid, like I have a friend, he just his grandma died, just he inherited a whole ass house.
You know what we should do is turn all black people into corporations, and now we can treat them like corporations.
I'm with it. They don't
We
have to
get
pay
tax
taxes, bro.
bonuses.
Yeah, you pay like four
You
percent on
get to
tax.
own things.
I like where you're going with this. Hans Kim for president. You and Kanye can start your own ticket.
Black people are corporations. Asians are grocery stores. White people are stocks, and Mexican people are laundry carts.
And the Jews will do the accounting for all of that, or
Yeah, Jewish people can be vehicles. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about tonight? Did you have a good time tonight?
on the podcast.
No, just overall, like basketball, podcast, whatever you did before.
I had a great day. Most of my days are dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just woke up, did a little bit of work in the early morning, went to hoop. Now we're doing this. My days are most of the time pretty dope.
So
Yeah.
isn't that good?
Yeah.
Like
Like all the fucked up
Austin.
shit aside, I love Austin. I love the city. And when I travel to other countries, I realize that there's nowhere else I'd rather live than states. Like other
Yeah.
countries are cool to visit, but like for as much shit as America gets, it is still comparatively, and it may change, but as of right now, it's still probably the only place I'd rather be. There's no place I'd
When I
rather
go
be.
to other countries, I feel like I'm not living my life. Like it's like a side mission. And when
Yeah,
I get to America, I'm like, oh yeah, this is where the world happens.
yeah.
Like
This is where
everything is controlled from here.
the one thing that I think America really has to reconsider are bidets. I don't know why we didn't jump on the bidet train, but whoever the powers that be, we got to get on the bidet train. What are we doing?
That's
I
true.
I went on the bidet train. Now I need to get my ass eaten like once a
You
week.
know what's tough is that in American bathrooms, there's no electrical outlet. So if you want a heated bidet, you have to like get an electrician in to do it special.
Keep it cold, bro. Get that little
You,
no, can't you tie it up to like the water lines from like the sink?
yeah, that's what I did. That's what I
Oh,
use.
you have a bidet?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're a classy guy.
Yeah, I know. My asshole has never been cleaner.
Oh, bro,
And
yeah. When I was in Spain I was in Spain in November, and I was like, bro, this bidet game, we got to change it up. We got to bring the bidet to the states. I
and you're
loved it,
not rubbing shit on your asshole. Your most sensitive, beautiful little asshole. You're not rubbing dry paper on it.
bro. I bet you they get so many less hemorrhoids in their country.
Yeah, it feels better. It
Yeah.
cleans it
Do you
out.
think big hemorrhoid is against bidets? Do you think that's why big hemorrhoid and toilet paper are against bidets? They're like, yo, if we
America is a very weird country. We cling on to certain things and we advance in other ways. But I think like what I like to do is I flush my shit and then I bidet so I can see all the poop flakes that were in my asshole, so I can see how much it actually cleaned.
and how are the results? The results come back pretty
It's
good.
pretty crazy how much shit can be up there sometimes.
Wow.
Have you ever wiped and you're like, oh my God,
Oh
this
yeah.
is like way too much shit.
Oh, it's the bro. The bidet changed my life.
Like, where is it even hiding up there?
How did you get up there? It's still there,
Yeah, like, is it all smeared up and down your crack, or is it just like like it's poking out? Maybe it's,
man. Yeah, I'm a big on the wet wipes thing, but the bidet's got to be the move.
yeah, just jet it. As long as you're comfortable, it does kind of hurt your butthole if you turn up the thing too high.
I'm
It
not
is,
ready for I'm
you
not
gotta
ready for
go,
jet stream and
yeah,
just a
you
light
gotta
little.
train your asshole to get ready because that doesn't feel good. But
No,
if you get it right up the hole
is
and you're cleaning, you're giving yourself a colonoscopy.
you just get pegged by your bidet.
Yeah, that's why all these liberals are so okay with gay sex. It's because they're just getting fucked by the bidet. They're like, what's the difference if a cock's up there? I've already had stuff up there.
That's the whole secret for the rest of the world. But I'm on board with bidets. Sign me up. Get bidets on every toilet. That's my platform I'm running on politically. Is bidets for every toilet.
So do you think like that like some people are kind of weird because there's a lot of shit going on? Do you think the news affects people?
Fuck yeah, that shit affects the shit out of people.
But what about people that are like, I'm not affected by the news. I don't even watch the news.
Bro, these motherfuckers, unless you're fucking hiding under a rock, man, maybe you don't watch the fucking news, but you follow your people on Twitter or Instagram or watch the TikTok videos of people talking about the same shit. Like, that shit is unavoidable.
So we're all being affected by how everything else is going on.
Oh, I guess so. Like, on different levels, depending on how much you consume. But
I
yeah,
mean, if you don't pay attention to the news, you're not paying attention to what is affecting your life because that has an effect on your life. People feel differently depending on what happened. If Michael Jackson dies, then people are going to be sadder. And if you don't know about it, that's not good.
you got to know
People,
when Michael
pe
Jackson died.
People just love to be like, oh, you're the one that told me that. I'm learning this for the first time. I'm actually being affected by the news. But it's like, yeah, if you're being affected by the news all the time, you don't have to remark upon when that's happening
Yeah,
since
you're
you're
not
like,
fucking self-righteous, like, oh, I don't watch the news. I'm so like people try to get all fucking on their high horse about it. It's like, nah, you're just being hit in other ways. You're like, oh, it's like when people are like, no, I don't watch the TV. I'm like, bitch, you watch Netflix. It's the same shit. Like, where do you think these fucking shows
yeah,
come from, bro?
it's better to watch Netflix than to not watch Netflix because then you're not getting what the culture is going through. Like the culture is so beautiful, and if you don't go along with it, you can't experience the beauty of it. Someone thinking differently from you, and who doesn't want to get good at like being different, awesome people? So like people who have the ability to empathize with other people are gonna have an advantage because they were a cooler person than you for an hour.
Yeah. Well, those are cool people, but there's a lot of shitty people out there.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily translate. It's like a good, you gotta get a little bit of it. You can't do it all the time.
No, it's like a you ever been slacklining? Like you gotta find that middle and just kind of balance on that bitch. Because
What?
any way you go too far, then it fucks shit up.
Yeah.
Like, but that's like too much of anything, you know? Like too
Yeah.
much pussy is still a bad thing. Like it
But
could
some
fuck
people
you
watch
up.
the news all the time. That's their job. If you treat it like a job, you're gonna be like, oh, whatever.
Nah,
It's just the news.
but also the news. The problem with the news in like this country is it's like it's for entertainment. It doesn't really give you like actually what's going on. You know, you got to like if you're gonna watch the news and like hear about a story, if you really want to know what's going on or like get like the full story, you got to go do your own research from like different sources. Like you can't just expect the news to tell you what is really happening in a way that allows you to decide. They're always every fucking news thing's got their own fucking twist or their own fucking vision they want to sell you.
Yeah, they're trying to make you feel a certain way. They're not trying to tell you the news. They're just trying to be like, hey, you should be worried about this.
Yeah, bro, you should be scared. You're gonna fucking die of this disease. Everyone's getting this disease and they're all dying, dude. You're gonna fucking die. And then you're like, great, now we're all fucking dying. I feel like the worst people that get affected too are like old people and shit, like people that sit home and watch the news all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like those people get most affected by that kind of shit. Like they're just over like, yeah, all these migrants are going to Texas. World War III is happening, and we're all gonna die. And you're like, bro, the fuck are you talking about? But then
Yeah.
it's
Well,
all in the
that's well, I think it's nature and nurture because I think like old people they have like a tendency to look out for that kind of shit because that's something that could fuck up their life. They have a lot of capital. They own a lot of shit. They have a good advantage in life, but what could take them down is like a revolution or something.
some old people out in like the Midwest, the middle of nowhere, they ain't got much.
Well, I'm sure they have a gun. They have I mean, yeah, a lot of people are poor, but I feel like old people are like looking out for like shit like that for the news because that's something they can prevent. That's something like if you know that a crime streak is happening, then you can prepare for that. And that's a little bit of what old people like, but it's also being emphasized because like if you're an old person, why wouldn't you watch like a cool show instead of watching the news? Like you have to enjoy it at some point.
Yeah, yeah, you get fucking you get like what is it, trained to like watch it and shit. But I think like old people when they were younger, that's what the news was for. It's like breaking news, JFK gets shot live on TV. Like their worlds are fucking changed by news bulletins. Now it's like Kim Kardashian, wait what she did next. We'll tell you after this break. You know, like
Yeah.
now they're just being like Joe Biden
So
has slip
they
up.
they're trained to watch the news. They're trained to be like, "Oh, Russia is attacking us with nukes. Get under your table." So they have to. And then they have this mechanism like anything on TV is official.
Yeah, yeah, of
They're
course. It
like, "Oh,
says
this is
CNN on
the
the bottom of the
America
thing.
channel."
Yeah, this says
Uh,
Fox America. This is says CNN
Yeah.
America. This is good. We got to watch it and
Yeah.
such. You know, like
The kids nowadays, we like personalities like Hasanabi.
who's Hasanabi?
He's a character. He's a Twitch streamer. He does leftist political commentary.
Okay. Are you a big Hasanabi guy?
Yeah,
Hmm. Never heard of him. I don't watch a lot of streamers. I don't think I've
I
ever watched.
just like, you know, thinking about politics, I guess.
Are you a big politics guy? Like you like know what's going on in the political world?
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, yeah. Who's Hans Kim voting for in 2024?
Joe Biden.
Joe voting for Uncle
Joe
Joe.
Biden is what a president should be. He should just be like an old guy in a closet signing paper. Like, what do you want, a fucking supermodel or like a fitness model to be a president?
A Fitstagram.
Yeah. I just want him to fucking do the paper. That's all a president should be. That is a perfect president, just not a president. He's barely there. I don't know why people think presidents should be so awesome.
I do think presidents are interesting because they do have a lot of power, but they don't have like the amount of power people think they do.
Yeah.
And so I find it very interesting, like for the most part, right? Anytime the political thing changes, some people's lives are going to be affected by it.
Yeah.
And that's a small segment, but for most people, you're going to be able to go about your day and not tell a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to notice from one thing if you take your life objectively, you're not going to notice the difference that much. There are specific issues that you do notice that they push. So I think a lot of people what's most important is to vote in your local elections, but no one gives a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like local elections. You mean vote for the people that live around me that make the laws in the area I live? Well, that's just stupid. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we can have like private community in Austin and just be like, we don't follow your rules.
would you be the mayor? Would you ever
Yeah.
run for an office?
Yeah. I'd love to be the mayor.
Mayor Hans Kim,
Let's not go.
what's the first law you would enact?
Uh, no highways. We're ripping up all the
All the
highways.
highways.
No highways in Austin. You
So that
drive around Austin.
so that just means you're just all the cars from the highway now just go to regular streets.
Yeah. And then they take public transit into the city.
So instead of highways, you're going to put public transportation on the
Yeah,
highways.
no, yes.
I mean, what?
We're gonna take down the highways and then we're gonna build rails,
Why,
maybe on the highways, maybe somewhere
why
else.
don't we just build the rails on the highway and then we already have this? It's already built in.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
I'm just, okay. So Austin has the shittiest public transportation.
The buses are not very good.
I heard there's a train here. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's on 4th Street.
Where does it take you to?
It takes you from East Austin to West Austin on 4th Street.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. Have you ever used it?
never.
I was about to say, I don't know anyone who's ever been on it.
I think it might be good if you're going from downtown 6th Street to like Roscoe's or like, like East Austin.
Hmm. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I keep trying to think because I've seen the train, but I thought it went north.
There might be a north train, but I haven't seen it.
Two trains. Okay. Because I heard there was one that came down from like the Domain area to like downtown Austin.
Do you think if there's like an autistic rapper, he might be called Two Trains?
I feel like if you were an autistic rapper, that would be your name. So if you were a rapper, two trains, that's pretty good.
Should we call it a podcast?
Yeah, I think we've done enough.
Okay.
Yeah, on two trains on that note.
Ben Bosunga, comedian, Austin, Texas.
Thanks for having me, Hans Camp.
Should have done that.